Hello, put the tip in. I'm actually down Southampton way today, as you do. It is the 29th of November, and we're gonna have to do today's video a little differently. Um, I kind of, I'd narrowed it down from last night's picks to 12 or something this morning. I just can't get it to six, so I've decided to do it this way. I'm gonna do six horses. I know that's five, but I'm wiping my nose. Six horses, and then a Newbury preview. So stick with me. Six horses, then Newbury preview. Yesterday we had a really good, I think it was like 18 to 1 place in Velvet Rain, and one other horse place, but it was a bit of a mare. Um, Today's hoping for better. I think today's racing seems a bit more. The fact I can't narrow it down says to me either everything's going to go terribly wrong or we're on to a winner because that's how kind of closely matched they are. So we'll do our six, and then I'll tell you about Newbury. So our six horses. We start in the 11:48 at Doncaster. That is the 11:48 at Doncaster, and that is Menalishi at 13 to 2. Um, the 12:44 at Fairyhouse. That is the 12:44 at Fairyhouse. Special Cadeau 8 to 1. 12:57 at Doncaster. 12:57 at Doncaster. Mighty Fleur. 13 to 2. The 112 at Bangor on D. That is the 112 at Bangor. Passing at Kate. Passing at Kate at 10 to 1. The 3 o'clock at Fairyhouse. The 3 o'clock at Fairyhouse. Billy Lee Swagger. Billy Lee Swagger at 12 to 1. And finally, the 3:30 at Fairyhouse. The 3:30 at Fairyhouse. Claudio. That is Claudio at 9 to 1. There you six. Not as many extra place races actually today. If you can get extra place races, you want to go Will Hill, Bet365, etc. I'd look around there. Um, but yeah, that's your six. Fingers crossed for a better day. I definitely kind of am feeling it. Um, Newbury, right? Little Newbury preview. Um, Let me just open up how I'm going to do this. So little Newbury preview. I'm just going to give you a selection kind of in each race. Um, to give you an idea of the day. So race one is the 11:55 at Newbury. My selection is Jaminska. I was between Jaminska and Whimsy, and Whimsy's just come in that little too much. If you can get 5 to 1 on Whimsy, I might even lean that way, but I do like Jaminska. Just very consistent recently. I think the third to Fortune de Mer is the standout race there. But let's be honest, even the second to Jack Hyde, all of its most recent form really strong vibes. So yeah, Jaminska at 14 to 1 currently, maybe. Yeah, 14 to 1 is ridiculous value. The 12:30. Now, the 12:30 was wide open, to be honest. There is a lot of form in here. And naturally, I can understand why the market's a bit sandwiched, and that's because it's nigh on impossible to tear it apart. The horse that stood out for me is Ide. That's Ide. Um, yeah, just always absolutely solid at class two level, kind of places at minimum places. I think like 75% strike rate of placing or something like that. So I think we're in safe hands in that regard. It's an extra place race. Um, yeah, I just laid on that this was the most consistent horse in the field. On to the 105. Um, so uh, I originally was on Grand Garcon, and maybe this horse could still pull an upset, but the last run wasn't what I wanted. Um, so that kind of put me off a bit. I looked around and Walk Tall, I think, is the one for the most scope of improvement at kind of at odds that we can get some value. Um, so they're the two I'm kind of stuck between Walk Tall and Grand Garcon. If I'm perfectly honest, this would be the race I'd probably miss out, but that's where I lie. The 140 at Newbury, this one was really straightforward. Personal ambition. If you want something at larger odds, Lover Dose is also really, a really nice horse for this race. But personal ambition, Yeah. Um, the run at Carlisle will have this horse much fitter. Been running at far better races than this, generally speaking. You know, back behind Khalif de Burley, Gidley Park, Mark of Gold. Even Lookaway, Django Bay, beat Django Bay. Like things like that should be big signs, you know, and Jinko Blueback. But that's where I'm at with this. I think that's pretty straightforward. Again, extra place race, and it's giving you an each way price at sixes or sevens, depending where you shop around. On to the 215. This was between two horses. At the top of the weights, Live Conti and Give It To Me OJ. I lent the way of Live Conti because they're at the same, like neither are giving each other weight. And the last time they raced on the same weight, Live Conti beat Give Me OJ by I think just under 3 lengths. So that closely matches them on form, but gives me no reason to say that they will turn it around. And Dan Skelton is flying. So I've sided with Liv Conti. I think that horse is going to drift, to be honest. Currently at 12s or 14s. I think you can get 16s, 18s by the time it goes off, and Give It To Me OJ will come in. But I'm between those two. Resplendent Grey in the 255 is where I've come down. Um, this is a huge race. But this horse has beat horses like Highland and that. It's got some form tied in with um, the race. Panic Attack would be my backup if I had to have two. Because again, Dan Scout on flying and Panic Attack's last run was really impressive. But 3 miles is a question mark. And Resplendent Grey is proven over it, so that's how I come down. And I do think that Sean Bowen will be vital in the finish to this race. 3:35 at Newbury is the final. This was nice and easy for me. Etalon just looks at the top of the weights, the pick. I don't see anything getting near personally. Chava Alen is the favourite. I do like it, like the horse, but yeah, Etalon for me should fly in this. I just don't see anything that's convincing me otherwise. Rare Edition obviously is a very good horse, but not against these. I don't think yeah, it's a hard one. In all fairness, again, this could be a leave one, but I have a very strong opinion of Etalon, and it's that horse each way for me at 4 places. That is your Newbury preview. You've had your 6 horses, a little bit longer today. Sorry for the length, but it is what it is. I'll catch you on the other side. Cheers.